Hi, I'm Jim Taylor. Welcome to In Favor Resources and to this video teaching series entitled The God-Given Power of Music, where we're teaching on how God uses music in powerful ways in our lives. So if you joined us for the first video, you already know that music helps us to express joy and gladness, not just communicating our happiness, but music can actually make us happy. And at funerals and in times of grief, music is an aid to our mourning, and it actually is an expression of our grief. And it can be used to fight against depression and demonically inspired anger, as David did when he played his stringed instrument for Saul. So we covered music and our emotions. This video, number 2, is for music and the family. And if you haven't gotten your handout for this particular video, go back to the website, infavorresources.com, download that, print it out, and follow in the blanks by filling in the blanks, I should say. We're assuming you've already done that, so let's begin. First of all, music serves God's purposes during family celebrations. During family celebrations. The example on your sheet there is that of the prodigal son in Luke chapter 15. It says, "The father said to his servants, 'Quick, bring the best robe and put it on him, and put the ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate.' Why? For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." And so they began to celebrate. Well, what kind of celebration was this? Meanwhile, the older son was in the field, and when he came near the house, he heard music and dancing. That was the celebration for the younger son. You imagine that your younger brother comes home from a tour in Afghanistan, or your daughter returns from a semester in Europe someplace. How about if you and your college friend get together 10 years after you've seen each other, with no communication in between, and you've got all this catching up to do? You know, what would that kind of celebration sound like? All of those, wouldn't they sound like the same one we just read about, where the son had returned? Wouldn't there be singing and dancing and toasting and laughing? I mean, music is a natural part of something like this. If you've ever had a massive family reunion where there's many generations from all points of the compass, and they're coming together after a long absence, or if you're celebrating your great-grandmother's 100th birthday, or maybe the graduation of the first person in your family to finish college, wouldn't there be a boombox? Wouldn't somebody have an outdoor speaker on the top of their car? Wouldn't there be singing and laughing and dancing? Wouldn't it be loud? Now, my family, when we get together, we often play a game called Songburst, and we play the greatest songs from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. So what you do is you get a little card, and it gives you like 2 words or 3 words, and then you have to guess and sing the whole first line or the first verse of that song. If you can't get it, they give you another couple of words and you get fewer points. And if you still don't get it, they give you the whole first line and you get no points. So my sisters, my 3 older sisters, and my wife are awesome at this game. They are hilarious. They know all kinds of songs and all kinds of lyrics. And it's not long before we find one we really like, and we're all singing it, both sides competing against each other, but we're all singing it together, just singing it, and then we're all laughing together. It's a blast. That's why I have that Sister Sledge quote at the top of your sheet. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. Next, on your handout, you will find music when children play and in children's songs. When children play and in children's songs. An example is Matthew chapter 11, when Jesus said, "What shall I compare this generation to?" How am I going to describe this to you and help you understand? "You are like children sitting in the marketplace and calling out to their playmates, 'We played the flute for you and you did not dance. We sang a dirge and you did not mourn. You didn't play along with us when we were singing and when we were playing.'" See, children naturally sing and dance and enjoy music. You may have to teach your child how to be a good musician, but you never have to teach your child to love music. That just comes naturally to them. They are born that way. I mean, after all, didn't you sing silly little songs to your baby when it was first born? Just things you made up, or just little rhymes. And how did they respond to that? They loved it. They giggled, they laughed, they couldn't take their eyes off you. They're born that way. Do any of you remember Old MacDonald Had a Farm? Or Five Little Monkeys Jumping on the Bed? Or Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star? Or The Itsy Bitsy Spider? Or The Ants Go Marching One by One? Or Row, Row, Row Your Boat? Or Three Blind Mice? Or Jesus Loves Me, This I Know? Or The Wheels on the Bus Go Round and Round? Or I'm Going to the Zoo, Zoo, Zoo? How about you, you, you? Chances are, when you find children together, eventually you're going to hear some singing. And adults, we could probably learn something from that. So, during family celebrations, when children's play, and in children's songs, and music naturally fits, number 3, at times of farewell, when you're saying goodbye. So the story we have there is Genesis 31, and Laban is actually rebuking Jacob from not allowing him to say goodbye to his daughter when they leave. So Laban said to Jacob, "What have you done? You've deceived me, and you've carried off my daughter like captives in a war. Why did you run off secretly and deceive me? Why didn't you tell me?" This is what Laban missed. "Why didn't you tell me so I could send you away with joy and singing to the music of timbrels and harps? You didn't even let me kiss my grandchildren and my daughters goodbye." And Laban concludes, "You have done a silly thing." Times of farewell. Auld Lang Syne is traditionally been used to bid farewell to the passing year, the former year, right at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve. Auld Lang Syne means for the sake of old times, or for the sake of times long gone. And so, by extension, because of that meaning, it's often used to sing at funerals or graduations or at the closing of week-long events as a farewell or an ending to other occasions. Personally, when I think of farewells, I think of Peter, Paul, and Mary singing, "I'm leaving on a jet plane, and I don't know when I'll be back again." I remember Elton John writing that wistful song, "Candles in the Wind." And initially it was a tribute to Marilyn Monroe and her tragically shortened life. But then he touched the world when he sang it at Princess Diana's funeral and had tweaked the song to say farewell to her. In an earlier generation, some of you may remember this, Roy Rogers and Dale Evans would say farewell at the end of every show by singing "Happy Trails to You." Now, I don't remember that, but my parents would. Carl Perkins wrote a goodbye song made famous by Johnny Cash. "I remember when I was a lad, times were hard and things were bad, but there's a silver lining behind every cloud. Just 4 people, that's all we were, trying to make a living out of blackland dirt. But we'd get together in a family circle singing loud. Daddy sang bass, Mama sang tenor. Me and little brother would join right in there. Singing sings to help a troubled soul. One of these days, and it won't be long, I'll rejoin them in a song. I'm going to join the family circle at the throne." And until then, music serves a mighty purpose for all of us at times of farewell. Next, it also does this by its presence in love songs. Love songs. Now, the Song of Solomon, the entire book, is a lyrical dance, a romantic, poetic, and musical expression of 2 lovers. You can see the quote from Origen there on your sheet. As early as 250 AD, he declared that the song was a marriage song which Solomon wrote in the form of a drama. And it's even titled The Song of Songs. Now, it is only secondarily a picture of Christ in the church. I mean, that was because the Puritans were so embarrassed that this got in the Bible because there's body parts named here. And that's embarrassing. And so he said, well, it's not really about a man. Well, of course it is. It is first and foremost the outpouring of a deep and consuming love between 2 people who have fallen head over heels for each other. Now, my wife and I have sung to each other in more than 40 years of marriage, probably 1,000 times, James Taylor and Carly Simon duet, "Devoted to You," originally an Everly Brothers hit. I get teary-eyed when Eric Clapton is singing, "My darling, you look wonderful tonight." Unchained Melody by the Righteous Brothers. Whitney Houston singing, "I will always love you." Chicago singing, "You're the inspiration." The Beach Boys singing, "God only knows where I'd be without you." And Sam Cooke, and then later Art Garfunkel singing, "What a wonderful, wonderful world this would be." Now, my mom and dad listened to songs like "Fly Me to the Moon" by Frank Sinatra. Tony Bennett singing "The Way You Look Tonight." "Only You" by the Platters. And Elvis singing "Love Me Tender, Love Me True." And of course, music is also powerfully present at the event that love songs lead to. At weddings. The next set of blanks for you. At weddings. According to the NIV title on Psalm 45:1, the entire chapter is a wedding song. It describes in detail the beautiful bride coming out to meet her handsome groom. Now, the first book of 1 Maccabees isn't in our Protestant Bible, but it does report Jewish history about 175 years before Jesus was born. Now, in chapter 9, verse 39, Jonathan and his men, and I'm quoting here, "looked out, and there they saw the bridegroom in the middle of a bustling crowd in a train of baggage, coming to meet the bridal party, escorted by his friends and kinsmen fully armed, to the sound of drums and instruments of music." Think of today's weddings. Now, for the processional, everybody recognizes Mendelssohn's The Wedding March, dun, 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 dun. But I think it's been far surpassed in these modern days by Canon in D by Pachelbel, that quietly beautiful song. At unity ceremonies during the wedding service, I often see Christina Perri's "I have loved you for 1,000 years, and I will love you for 1,000 more." It's a great song for a wedding. And I know that comes vampires. For the recessional, all those joyful, whimsical, funny, silly, hilarious songs that they do when the bride and groom and the wedding party are going out and showing off their moves. I'll tell you what, without music, weddings would be empty. The fact is, music plays a huge role in family life, my family and yours. Musicians can't leave this theme alone. In my teen years, I saw along with "Family Affair" by Sly and the Family Stone. One child grows up to be somebody who just loves to learn. Another child grows up to be someone you'd love to burn. Mom loves the both of them. You see, it's in the blood. Both kids are good to Mom. The blood's thicker than the mud. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. And the Intruders, "I'll always love my mama. She taught me little things like say hello and thank you, please," while scrubbing those floors on her bended knees. Talking about Mama, she's one of a kind. Talking about Mama, you've got yours and I've got mine. Talking about Mama, oh hey Mama, my heart belongs to you. Anybody remember "Teach Your Children Well" by Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young? Or Paul Simon's "Oh, the mother and child reunion is only a motion away." Ooh. Someone wisely said, and I think that our personal experience bears this out. They said family, friends, music, love. These are the sweeteners that garnish and ease the stress of life. That's because of its God-given power. Thank you for joining me on this. And before we sign off, just a couple suggestions to help you follow up on this today. Some questions. Was there music in your life, in your family, in your home when you were growing up? What do you remember about that? What songs especially stand out to you? And have you used any of those in your family? If you have a family now, do you include music in any way? If so, how do you do that? What songs will your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren remember you singing? Either singing to them or just singing. And then one last one. This is my parting shot. Anybody else out there, when you went on those long, ridiculously long family vacations where you drove like for 6 days to get somewhere, and you're packed into that car with your siblings and your parents. Did any of you during those times ease the tension by singing 99 bottles of beer on the wall? I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Hey, the next video is going to be about music in your personal everyday life and in public life. So thanks for joining us today. Thanks for viewing this video. You've got information on the bottom of your handout about how you can reach us, contact us, or learn more through the teachings that we provide. Hope to see you in the next video. Thanks.